Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we're joined by Andrew from the band Serpent Corpse. How are you doing today?
Find yourself?
Doing pretty good. You guys got a new album coming up. It's your debut,
Yep,
Blood Sabbath, on the 5th of July.
yep.
You excited to have it out?
Very excited because it's been recorded and finished for at least since last October, mastering everything. So yeah, we're excited to finally get it out.
There's just been a lot of behind the scenes work to make sure it's all ready.
Exactly, and vinyl pressing plants are still kind of backed up, and the label wanted everything to come out at once: vinyl, CD, digital, the tape version. So I know like lots of stuff often comes out CD and on the streaming platforms, and then the vinyl might come out a few months later, depending on the labels. That's it. Temple of Mystery wanted everything to come out at once, so we just had to wait for the vinyl to be ready.
That must have made you very antsy.
I mean, we were kind of expecting it, and at first they're talking about like waits of like almost a year, so it would have been like this upcoming fall, which we're like, man, like waiting a whole year for this, whatever, we'll do what we have to do, and we're pretty stoked that got like bumped further up to like this summer. So yeah.
So, what kind of stuff are you planning to do around the launch? Are you having release shows?
Yeah, we actually have a release show July 15th at La Soterrenia. It's in the basement of Sala Rosa, this venue in Montreal on Saint Laurent Boulevard. So it's us. There's going to be Disembodiment. That's our guitar player Chris's other death metal band. They're from Sherbrooke. There's going to be Puffer, who are like a punk rock and roll band from Montreal, as well as a newer hardcore band called Chain Block. So basically, there are all these bands. They're people that we're really friends with, and in Montreal, anyways, it's kind of like the part of the scene we're kind of in, the underground punk, hardcore, metal bands. Everyone kind of knows each other and stuff like that. And I want to have like a mixed bill for the launch, so that's what we came up with.
And Montreal definitely has a very distinct like metal fandom. So I'm sure that
Yes,
helps
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely have people who are more like, say, I went to see Creator and Sepultura the other day, and at this venue, and it was like packed, packed, packed. But you obviously have like people who are more into like the bigger bands, down to varying degrees of more like the local, more DIY metal bands, have if you will. So, but yeah, for like metal in general, huge city for sure.
So which songs are you most excited to play off the new album?
I mean, that first song that we put out as a single, Nemesis, I really like that one. It's fun to play. At the show, we'll be playing Blood Sabbath. We've never played that one live before. There are a few songs that we've been playing almost since we started playing shows in 2021, maybe like two of them. And they're perhaps, so yeah, Blood Sabbath, we've never played live. And there's perhaps one other song that we've never played live yet, which I don't know if we will eventually. But so yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Blood Sabbath at the show. I'm just anxious for people to hear the record in general.
So given the fact that obviously the band is fairly new, was it kind of a pandemic birth for the band?
It was slightly before that actually. The guitar player and Adam and I have been playing in bands for quite some time now, and our previous band had just broken up. He got in touch with our drummer Zach, and then they started jamming. I came in, we're looking for a singer, couldn't find anyone, decided that I'd play bass and sing at the same time. And then we asked our friend Christian, who had played music with before, to join on second guitar. So we kind of started fall of 2019. Obviously, when the pandemic first hit, it kind of slowed us down a bit. We didn't jam for a few months. Then around like fall 2020, we started jamming again, and that's when we went to record the demo with our friend Max, who plays in that band Puffer. He had recorded a few of our previous bands, so that's it. We did that with him, and then we played our first show in so yeah, excuse me. The demo was recorded fall of 2020, and we played our first show August of 2021 in Sherbrooke. And that was like the first one of the first gigs I had been to since the pandemic had started. So briefly, yes, it did slow us down a bit. We started beforehand, it slowed us down a bit, but so far things have been going well.
What was the actual recording process like for you guys?
For the LP,
Yeah.
yeah, so we contacted Pat, who plays in Spectral Wound, the Montreal black metal band.
Yep.
Because Zach, our drummer, who also plays in Scum Strike, their two previous recordings had been with Pat. And Adam and I really liked the sound of that last Spectral Wound LP that came out, and Pat had recorded that. So we hit him up, and it was super smooth. He really helped us get a really good sound, and yeah, I think he's like an essential part of putting the whole record together. Because
So
beforehand, like most of my previous like recording experience with the other bands I had with Adam, they're more like punk and hardcore bands, which were more like demos and EPs and more like four on the floor kind of let's go, we'll do it one take, a bit of maybe overdubbing, mixing, mastering, thank you. Whereas this, we spent like several weekends working on the record instead of like, as opposed to one afternoon.
just making sure it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were like, well, let's do it. But why not this time, And we're pretty stoked with the results, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
the album is great.
Thank you.
It's not often you see new death metal bands finding a record so early, or a record label so early, I should say. How did
Yeah.
that kind of come about?
Well, it's just because I said like Adam, Christian, Zach, and I have all been in bands in and around Montreal for years and years, booking shows and stuff like that. I've known Annick for a few years now. Annick from Temple of Mystery Records, and she happened to come and see us when we played Ottawa. And I told her about the record. We had just finished. I think we had just got the last like the mastered version, and we sent it to her. She really enjoyed it. She was kind of like actually our first pick because there aren't too many like like metal labels in Canada in general, let alone Quebec. And I think hers is really cool. So we're kind of like, it'd be fun if she'd put it out. We sent it to her, and it just kind of like worked out that way. So yeah, just from years of being in other bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's obviously pretty convenient.
For sure. Yeah, you just you meet people along the way and stuff like
Yeah.
that for sure.
So long-term plans, what are you guys planning for the future?
We actually have like four new songs that are, I'd say, I don't know, maybe like more than halfway done. So we already booked more studio time with Pat, kind of getting ahead of myself, but with Pat this October. So we're going to record four new songs, possibly re-record one song from the demo. So to have a 4 or 5 song EP, maybe keep 4 songs for an EP and a song for a split or something. But the songs are fairly long, so at least if there's a 4 song EP, it'll be 20 plus minutes. So yeah, and no touring plan so far. Maybe some local gigging and stuff like that, but no tours so far for the rest of the year. We're kind of waiting to see how people react to the record before like I don't know. It's a kind of like a risky financial decision going on tour. It can be
Yeah.
fun, but it can cost a lot of money, even doing it just like DIY and stuff. So just kind of wait to see how the reaction, if there's demand for us before we go out there.
Well, I don't see the demand not being there, so that's always
Yeah,
good.
yeah, no, no, but it's so hopefully touring in the future, but no plans for the moment.
So, off the top of your head, who would be your bucket list to tour with?
Uh, man, I mean, I just like I'd like to go on tour with a local Montreal band called Prowl. I think they're sick. They've toured the States a bunch of times. They're getting pretty popular. They're kind of like a crossover, the power trip and force kind of vibe. I think we mesh kind of well with them. Another, semi-local Outretombe would be fun, or Sedimentum. They're kind of the band that shares members with them. Uh, I mean, personally, I'd like to go just on tour with like homies and friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely, you're gonna
Yeah,
have the most fun.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure, for sure. So, I mean, we'll see what the future holds. If we get asked to open for, I don't know, it would have been Bolt Thrower back in the day, but seeing how that's not possible anymore, I don't know, it would be on the bucket list.
Well, you kind of have I can't think of the name of the band, Semi-Bolt Thrower, but
The
so
Frozen Soul.
maybe I Frozen Soul would be
Yeah,
cool as well.
yeah. I'd definitely open. I'd go on tour with Frozen Soul. I think they're fucking sick. I've seen them last time, 2 times they come to Montreal, and they definitely put on a very, very good live show. I could see them appealing to the wider metal community, regardless of the kind of metal you like. I think they can kind of like have that middle ground for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess given you guys are a newer band, what would you say your main influences are? Just, give people some idea of what they're looking for.
Um, I mean, I mean, ourselves, we kind of like don't necessarily even consider ourselves like a death metal band per se. I mean, it's definitely death metal influence. Kind of just considers ourselves like a death punk or like some kind of crossover band. But so there's definitely a very strong Celtic Frost influence and Dark Throne as well, especially like newer Dark Throne from like The Cult is Alive onwards, I would say. That Celtic Frost influence kind of dribbles into like Obituary and stuff like that. Um, Definitely, there's a bit of Bolt Thrower for sure, some old Morbid Angel, but there's also like, like Cro-Mags, Iron Age, Inepsy, Annihilation Time, stuff like that. Black Sabbath, Candlemass, um, whole bag of tricks.
And in terms of the album cover, I mean, there's a lot going on. It's very vibrant.
Yes, very cool.
What kind of went into
Um,
that?
so we kind of had the lyrics for Blood Sabbath. It's kind of like the anti Witchfinder song. And I suggested we go with Lucas to the 3 other guys, and they were down with that. So we hit him up, kind of explained to him the vibe of the song, what the lyrics were about, sent him some examples. He did some sketches or some back and forth. He showed us some more examples, and we're like, "This is perfect." And he just let loose.
And then it just came together
It just came
perfectly.
together perfect. Yeah, it's insane. I actually bought the original from him. I was so stoked, and I was like, "Yeah, I have to get this." So it's hanging on my wall.
Nice. I mean,
Yes.
there's nothing better, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess last but not least, just for the people who may not know you and your new and old fans, any messages you would like to leave them with?
Oh, damn, putting me on the spot. I don't know, just enjoy, and I hope you enjoy the record, but I don't know, enjoy local bands, enjoy the local scene if you have one. If not, start up a band with your friends. It's the best. Well, I'm not a classically trained musician by any standard. I can get along with my bass like it's a hammer, but I've toured, played shows everywhere, and it's just a great feeling. So yeah, regardless of your skill level, practice and just go for it. That's it. Go for it.
Practice makes perfect.
That's what happened to us. So there you go. If
Awesome.
Lars
Well,
can do it, anyone can do it.
I mean, look how much he's making now, so hard to
There you
laugh at the
go,
guy.
man. No, exactly, man. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew. And
All right. Thanks for having me, bud.
of course, the new Serpent Corpse is out 5th of July through Temple of
Yes.
Mystery. So check
Hell
it
yeah.
out. Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Peace out.